all about beauty your way. You know, a lot of times people want you to fit into a category of what they think beauty should be. They want you to have hair like this or skin like that or dress like this. We want to give you options and say, hey, for however you want to do your beauty, we're here to help you with that. We're here to serve you with that. And that is the best way to represent your authentic self. And that's what we really want to do. We want you to be authentically you. We want you to be proud of you. We want you to be accepting of you, and we want you to love yourself. And we want to let you know that we are here to help you on that journey.
Welcome, BLN family. My name is Dominique Doyle, aka So Siobhan. And thank you guys for joining me on this live. We're going to be talking about the 21 makeup essentials and basically how to just edit and update your makeup kit. Now, this is really important because a lot of my clients, and for those who don't know, I am a professional TV makeup artist and also makeup educator. And I have a lot of clients that what I call makeup anxiety. And what do you think makeup anxiety is? It's when you have all this product, but you don't know what to do with it, right? So you have all the foundations, all the eyeshadow palettes, you have all the brushes they told you to buy on YouTube, but you don't know what to do with it. So you just put it in a drawer. I call it the makeup graveyard, and you don't use it at all. And you're still wondering, like, what products do I actually need in my makeup kit, and how can I use them? So I created a list of essential makeup products. Now, this is 21 makeup essentials. It could be more, it could be less, actually. But this is what you want to build your kit. And this is going to be appropriate for any budget. So whether your budget is, maybe $100, $200, there's some products that you might have to look at versus the luxury side. If your budget is 500 plus, you can look at some luxury brands, but you can definitely get the products in this list with a smaller budget, medium budget, or a large budget. So if you're just starting out, or if you're a veteran, this is definitely going to be helpful. All right. So I always tell people that it's so important to mix and match your makeup kit, right? So just how you mix and match your wardrobe. Let's say you have a piece from Gucci, right? But then you match that with a little bit of Target, right? So you can have a luxury brand, but you can also pair it with an inexpensive option. And you want to be very stringent when you're purchasing makeup. So when you go to the Ulta, the Sephora, the Mac, do not get overwhelmed. Have an idea of what you want and shop accordingly. And shop for items that are going to be classic and not so much trendy. If you must have a trendy item, you want to get the inexpensive version of that item. So let's say a trend that was going on was, let's say, a white eyeliner, right? So instead of spending $33 on a white eyeliner, maybe you can go to a drugstore, beauty supply store, buy an inexpensive version for maybe $1, $2, if you must, right? And then if you do enjoy that product or that style, then you can shop accordingly and increase the budget for that item. But I always tell people first starting out, be realistic with your budget, be realistic also with the use of the product, because we don't want you to have, you know, 15 different eyeshadow palettes and you're only using two colors, right? That is going to overwhelm you and you're not going to know exactly what to do. And plus, it's going to take you longer to do your makeup. And most of my clients are, you know, um, they have their own business, or they're professionals in their business and they don't necessarily have the time. They want to look the part, but they don't necessarily have the time. So the less products that you have, the less time you actually spend doing your makeup, and the more efficient you are. So we're going to go into those products, right? So there are 21 makeup essentials that you should have in your kit. I'm going to read off the amount of what you should have, and then I'm going to go through each one, each category, and in detail about the products. All right. So you should have two foundations. Here's a nice graph to go with it. You should have two foundations, two concealers, and these are just general idea of what you should have in your kit, right? This is just to kind of give you a picture with the item. So two foundations, two concealers, one powder, two blushes, one highlighter, four eyeshadows, two eyeliners, two mascaras, one lip liner, four lip products, right? And I'm going to go through each of them now. One thing that I did not mention in this list that is on this makeup list right next to me is a primer. Now, a primer is definitely you're going to want a primer in your kit. Though it's one of those, it goes more with the skincare, but it definitely is going to help your makeup application. It changed the game, I promise. So you want to make sure that you invest in a primer. A primer, you're going to, if you, depending on the type of skin you have, is the type of primer that you're going to get. So if you have oily skin, you want to get a primer that's going to limit the amount of oil your skin is making. If you have large pores, you want a pore minimizer primer, or you want a primer that's going to add more dewy effect to your skin. So depending on or you can find a primer that's going to mattify your makeup. So depending on your look, and also depending on your skin type, is the type of primer that you're going to use. All right. So to begin the list, we have two foundations. People are like, well, I can never find my foundation match. Yes. And that is because there is barely one foundation out. There's rarely going to be one foundation out there that's going to completely match your complexion. So you definitely want to go for two foundations. One, you want to make sure that you get one that's a little bit like your complexion, the closest to your complexion as possible, if not a little darker. And then you want one that's also going to be a little lighter, because we are lighter in the winter and darker in the summer. And then if we mix the two, we're somewhere in between the rest of the year. So, and then you can always add a little bit of lighter foundation to make it lighter, add a little bit of dark, so you can customize your foundation. I am huge on customizing foundation for my clients because we have so many different tones to us. It comes out at so many different times that we need to have options when it comes to foundation, but not too many options, because then you'll get confused and you don't know which one to use. Okay. You also want a foundation that is going to be a matte foundation, and then you want maybe a dewy foundation. A dewy foundation is going to be for those who have more dry skin, so it's going to make your skin look a little bit more glowy. The mattifying foundation is for those who have oily skin, right? So it's going to make sure that your skin is not as oily, and it's going to mattify the foundation. All right. And then you also want to consider maybe having one that is medium to full coverage, and then having a foundation that is also like a sheer to light coverage. Because some days you might just want to put it on really quickly. You don't want to look like you have anything on. You're just trying to look, fresh, and you want to use the sheer foundation for that. And don't be afraid, you can still always mix it no matter what, but it's still going to give you that light look. And then for when you're going out in the evening, special occasion, then you can dress it up with a fuller coverage. So those are two foundations. One of my favorite foundations that I like to use that's also very inexpensive, easy to find, is Black Opal. It's also Black owned. So just just adding my little 2 cents in there. All right, so the next one we have is two concealers. So same with the concealers. You want to have a concealer that is closest to your complexion, but has maybe a little bit of a reddish tone. That's going to help camouflage any dark spots. And then you want to have a concealer that is about a shade or two lighter than your complexion, and that's going to help add to the coverage, not to the coverage, to the contouring of your face, the kind of illuminating kind of feel to your face. So you want one that is skin matching, but then you also want one that is going to kind of color correct, but give you that highlight that you're looking for when it comes to a contour. Because usually when people are learning to contour, they are not using a concealer that is light enough, or they're using a concealer that is absolutely too light. So you want to make sure you're in the middle, right? So finding, again, a skin matching concealer, and then also a concealer that is about a shade or two lighter. Okay. Um, and with that, you can get a concealer that is a little bit thicker, a little bit creamier. Like the concealer there, it's by, again, Black Opal, full coverage concealer. And then I also have LA Girl, which is a lighter concealer. So you might want to, out of the two, you might want to, that's thicker. The thicker one should probably be the one that's closest to your complexion, that's skin matching. And then the lighter one can be a little thinner. All right. So we have two foundations, two concealers. Next, we have a powder. I think a lot of my clients, when I am teaching them how to update their makeup kit and teaching them how to do their makeup, and I look at their kit, I'm like, you're missing this important piece. You're missing a powder. And no, not a powder foundation. You're missing this translucent brightening powder. This powder is what you're going to use on top of your concealer. It's going to add that contour effect. It's going to help set your makeup, and it's just going to just be the cherry on top. Because sometimes if we're just using foundation and we're just using the concealer, it's not going to, it might crease up. It might look a little oily, and the powder is going to actually help to soak the oil, brighten up your face a little bit more, and also just give you a nice light coverage on top, right? So you want a color that is going to be a camel based color. I think I have an example of one here. Depending on your complexion. Depending on your complexion, you have like banana powder, which is very famous. Black Opal has a medium color, but I typically on myself, I would use a shade, again, that is a little bit lighter than my complexion. And I've used Black Opal in medium, right? And that is just going to highlight under my eyes, is going to set my concealer and just give me a nice subtle contour look. So you want to look for a brightening or a translucent powder. Got it. Next, blushes. So you want two blushes. I know people can have 500 blushes, but really you only need two. Here, you're lucky if you can get a palette that just has about 3 or 4 in it, right? So you're not having a whole bunch of different blushes, but you have it all in a palette. You want a blush that is going to be peachy, like a peachy pinky color. And then you want a blush that is more on like, so you want a peachy, when the peachy color is going to give you that nice golden kind of tone. And then you want one that's more pinky red, right? If you're just going to do the two, you want to go for a peachy pink and then a pinky red, right? And you want a blush that is to have a little bit of a shimmer to it, and then a blush that is going to be matte, because some days you're going to want that bronzy goldy finish, and then some days you're just really going to want a straight matte look. All right, so two blushes is fine, but if you can find a palette that has 4, that is even better, as long as we're going to keep it consolidated into one palette. All right, so we have the two foundations, the two concealers, the one powder, and now the two blush shades. And then we want the one highlighter. If you can find that bomb highlighter that is just going to get you glowy every single time, stick to that one for now. And then um, uh, as you continue on this makeup journey, you can always add highlighter, and you'll know exactly what looks good on you and what you like, right? So look for, I always tell, especially when I'm women of color, to look for a highlighter that has a nice gold undertone to it. So an example, this highlighter here by Urban Decay, unfortunately, it is discontinued. I try to find it everywhere. But you want to look for something that's going to give you that nice goldy, just touched by the sun kind of vibe, right? So this is one of my favorites, actually, that is super affordable. You can find it like a Target, Walgreens, or something like that. Is this golden, this is called Apricot Glow by Elf. This is a beautiful golden shimmer. And one thing about highlighter, you can also use it as eyeshadow, but you only need that one good one to start off with. So always start with something that is a little bit more golden. If you're my complexion, if you're a little bit lighter than me, or a lot lighter than me, you want to try something that is more of a champagne. So that's going to be more pearlized with a little bit of a gold to it. So that's going to look really good in you. And then if you're darker than me, you can still go with the golds, but you're probably going to go with something that has a little bit more of a brown, a reddish brown kind of shimmer to it as well. So just find the one that works for you, stick with that, and then we can experiment later once we get comfortable. Okay, well, after the highlighter, we have eyeshadow. And so I always tell people keep it cute, keep it simple. And with that, you're only really gonna need um, one palette. And as you can see on this makeup list, I'm actually counting the blush and also that bronzer palette as eyeshadow. So you can use one product multiple ways and be super completely efficient with your makeup, and no one's going to be able to tell, right? So you want to get an eyeshadow palette that's going to be, when you're first starting off, you don't want to start off with the blues, the greens, the pinks, right? Especially if you are not confident in your eyeshadow game. You want to start off with neutral colors. So you want like a reddish brown. I tell people, women of color, all the time, people of color, you want to start with a reddish brown as like a transition color. So that's going to be the base for absolutely everything that you do. And that could be a bronzer, right? Or it can just be in a palette. You have palettes that come with natural tones. So you have palettes that come with a reddish brown. You have palettes that come with a little bit of more of a burgundy brown, gold, champagne colors. You want to look for that type of a palette. But whatever it is, you want to make sure that you get this reddish brown as a transition color. And after that, it's all yours. It's yours. So you can use gold, you can use like champagne or pinks, but you want to try to keep it neutral at first. All right. So the 4 eyeshadows. So you can get these little kits at any supply store, any Ulta, Sephora, Target, any of that. You can get eyeshadow kit there. You want to get 2 eyeliners, right? Now, I'm not an eyeliner girl, but I know a lot of people who depend on the eyeliner. So you want to get an eyeliner that is going to be black, a nice charcoal, blacky black eyeliner. And then you want to get one that's a softer, like a brown, more of a deep type of brown. And I say the two because one is going to give you more of a sultry, bronzy look. The other one is just going to give you that kind of sexy cat eye kind of look if you like, or a deep type of smoky eye if you want. So you can always smoke your black out, you can always smoke your brown out, but you want the option of two. And also a brown eyeliner is really appropriate to use during the day, for meetings. A black eyeliner is great to use to transition that look into an evening look, or a dressier look, photo shoots, things of that nature. So having a dark brown and then also having a like a black. All right. Then we have 2 mascaras. Really and truly, this being extra, you could use one mascara, but I always tell people, if you can't decide, get lengthening eye mascara and also a voluminizing mascara. Some mascaras have both in them. So use those. But some days you might just want to define and lengthen your lashes. Some days you want that va-va-voom and you want the, volume. So you're going to use the voluminous mascara. And some days you're going to use both. So don't be afraid of mascara. It saves you from having to put lashes on all the time or getting your lashes done. And I absolutely love mascara. I tell people all the time, if you don't do anything else to your face, make sure your eyebrows are groomed and make sure that you're using mascara. And that is just going to lighten your face up, and you're going to be ready to go. Then we have one lip liner. So I like to use like a chestnut, a reddish brown for absolutely everything. Whether I'm wearing a pink lip, a peach lip, a red lip, it is going to neutralize it to my complexion. So whatever color I decide to wear, it's right for me. A lot of people are afraid of colored lips because they're like, it was too much. My lips are too big or my lips aren't big enough. No, 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 no. You can make it whatever color you want to wear your lips. If you want blue, green lips, if you want purple lips, as long as you have the right liner, it's going to fit for you. So I always tell people a reddish brown, a chestnut, is always going to be, I think NYX has it's called Cold Brew. That color right there is always going to blend into any lip color to make it fit for your skin tone. Okay. So, yes, you want that to match your natural lip. And then we have 4 lip products. You want a neutral, you want a pink, you want a red, and then you want a gloss, right? So I always say if you're doing like a red, you want that to be matte. So you want that to not be as shiny. And you can always make it shiny with a gloss. You want a pinky color, could definitely be matte or it could be a gloss. The nude can be matte or a gloss, but I always say if you're going to have a bright color, the bright color um, should be a matte at first. Now, if you feel a little extra and you want to gloss it up, by all means, gloss it up. But at first, it should definitely be a nude. I'm sorry, a matte. And then the pinky color, the nude color, that's something that could also be a gloss or matte. An example. Let me look. I thought I had everything out here, but I guess I lied. I wanted to show you an example of a beautiful color that I actually am wearing today. This is an example of like a peachy nudie color, but it's really light, right? On my lips, but it gives me that nice nudie tone because I lined my lips with a reddish brown first. So I lined my lips with the chestnut, and then I bled my lips. I blend my lips together, and then I added the lip gloss over it, and it gave me this nice peachy color as well, right? So a color like peachy tone, nude tone like this is absolutely beautiful for if you're like my skin color, lighter, darker, it doesn't even matter. As long as you get that lip liner together, the lip color is going to blend with your skin automatically. Um, Red tones that are like have a little bit of a blue in them. An example is everybody's favorite Ruby Woo. It's a little drying, but it has that blue red to it. Sometimes it has like an orangey red. So it depends on what kind of vibe you want to give. Choose your red accordingly. I love a deep, deep red, which is going to be that blue undertone type of red. And then for the pinky colors, I like to go, I'm gonna go for it when it comes with the pink because you can always lighten it up with the nude color. So I'm gonna go for a pink, like a nice bright pink, like so. Because you can always make this lighter by adding this color to it. And I love customizing my clients' lips because they're always like, what color is that? And I was like, it's a few colors. But having 4 lip colors, having those options, you can definitely create double the lip color as long as you have those 4. So again, that is a neutral, a pink, a red, and a gloss. All right. And you can create whatever colors you want with that. So that is the essentials. Those are the essentials for your makeup kit, right? So the bonus was a primer, right? But you have your 2 foundations, your 2 concealers, your 1 powder, your 2 blushes, your 1 highlighter, your 4 eyeshadows, 2 eyeliners, 2 mascaras, 1 lip liner, 4 lip products. And again, you can use your blush, your bronzer. You can use them interchangeably as eyeshadow. So the peachy pinky blush that I have, I can go ahead and I can use it on my eyes as well as my cheeks. Right? It gives you a nice neutral tone. And I always recommend for my first timers, my beginners in makeup, I was like, keep your makeup kit concise so that you have your go-to colors and you know exactly where to put what, how to use it. That way you're saving time, you're saving energy, you're saving your money, you're saving your mind by not having to figure out what is what, right? So keep your makeup kit concise. So if you have a large makeup kit, I want you to go buy a small bag and I want you to really separate what you know looks good on you, what you don't use at all, and and just even if in the ones that the products that you don't use at all that's not open, you can donate it, you can trade it, you can sell it online, but I want you to focus on the products that you actually use, that you're actually going to use, and the products that actually look good on you. do that. And now if you have to add to your makeup kit, again, you want to be very stringent about that. You don't want to go just into, you can get carried away going into the store not knowing what you're going to get, right? So it helps, even if you want to have a consultation. BLN, we're offering consultations to our BLN Gold members, and you can get a 30-minute free video consultation with myself, and we can go through your makeup kit, edit it. That way you have a blueprint of what you're looking for, right? So don't be afraid to invest a little bit in your appearance, because that's super, super, super important, because you are representing yourself. You are your brand. So it's important to take just a little bit more time and just a little bit more investing into yourself. All right. So with that being said, I went over the 21 makeup essentials, but another thing that people are always asking about are brushes. Like, what brushes should I get? Do I need to get these expensive brushes over here in the store, or can I settle for, the brushes here, you know, at the drugstore? And let me tell you, you can find a happy medium. There are a lot of affordable brushes, a lot of affordable brush sets. This right here is Technique brush set. They have your eyes, your face, cheeks. They go in with, they have beauty blenders. And let me tell you, I love a beauty blender. The sponge is everything. Like, I use a sponge to apply foundation, to set the powder, to blend. It is such an amazing blending tool. I definitely would recommend these kits because they are also inexpensive. Um, Instead of buying one brush for maybe $20, you can buy a set for $20. And as long as you clean them properly, take care of them, they do last a very, very long time. And there's cleaning products that you can look into as well that's appropriate for your brushes, depending on the type of bristles that they do have. But you can make them last a long time. So don't overwhelm yourself with 500 brushes that you paid $40 each for. But find you a set. Again, you can spend about $40, $50, and you can get a nice set from the drugstore, right? You want to make sure that you have a foundation brush, right? You want to have a I use a sponge for concealer, so I wouldn't even say a concealing brush. A foundation brush. You want a blush brush to put on your cheeks, right? You want to, and let me just give you an example. There are different types of foundation brushes, and I used my brushes recently to do my face, so that's why they have makeup on them. But you want a brush that is going to be dense. That is going to help pack your foundation in. And when you're applying your foundation with your foundation brush, which is like your this is like, it's really dense, so it's just really good to kind of buff into your skin. So this is what you call a buffing brush. And so what I do is I just kind of tap it in, and then you can move in small circles to kind of buff it into your skin. And this is going to give you that nice porcelain kind of airbrush look, right? So you want one of these. You want a blush brush, which is going to be a little bit, it doesn't be too big. Some people's blush brush might look like this. Mine's a little bit smaller because I just wanted to get right here on my cheeks. So you just smile and you just put it on your cheeks like so, right where your apple, right where you feel the apple of your cheeks, right there. And an important thing that I just thought of, which I see my clients do all the time, they hold their brushes differently. And where you hold your brush is going to basically tell like how much pressure you're adding onto your face, how much product is getting onto your face. So if you're holding your brush right by the bristles itself, it's going to add more pressure versus holding in the middle. You have a little bit more control of the amount of pressure that you're adding to your face. That's always going to be important. So I typically always tell my clients to hold your brushes towards the middle. Some brushes even have like a little indentation of where you should put your fingers. So you want a blush brush, and then um, you want an angle brush that you can use to apply your bronzer. So I use either a pointed brush or an angle brush. And this is all you can find in like the face brush set. And this will help get into your cheekbones on each side. So this is the pointier brush, and this is the angle brush. So either one will help get into those angles of your face to help you contour. right? You want an eyeshadow brush. You need like 2 eyeshadow brushes, right? If you get like eyeshadow kit or eyeshadow brush kit, it's going to come with like 4 different brushes, and that is well over enough. So the eye kit brush here is going to even come with brushes to do your eyebrows, which is going to be super, super important. So an angle brush like so with a spool. You have a larger, like a round brush to get into the corners of your eyes. Then you'll have like a flat brush like this to get right in the apples of your eye right here on the center of your eye. And that's pretty much all you need for your eyes, right? And then you want to use an eyeliner brush as well. I forgot, let me add that. Or if you want to get the bomb liner together, you want to get, your angle brush, and that's all going to come in that kit right there with the Technique brushes. So you're going to be taken care of, right? And then I always like a little, this is in the other face brush. This is what I use to actually add the loose powder underneath my eyes to set and then wipe it away. This is also going to be in your face brush. So if you can just get these little brush packets and that's already set up for you, some of them even have what it's used for. So eyes, cheeks, contour. It tells you right exactly what it's used for. That is going to be your best bet. It's going to be easier, especially if you are, again, a beginner. But also you can do a consultation. So yes, those are the brushes that you should definitely have. And again, the sponge is my favorite. Get your sponge, and here's a trick. When you use your sponge, don't use it dry. Wet your sponge. Wet it, and then squeeze all the water out and make sure it's damp when you're applying, and it helps to apply your foundation so much better. It kind of helps to melt it into your skin. So always use a damp sponge, and don't be afraid. Just whenever you finish, wash it out. I actually use dishwashing liquid to clean my sponge and then let it air dry. Just don't put it back in your makeup kit. Don't, put it in a plastic bag or anything like that. Just let it air dry. And then when you're ready to use it again, wet it again. Well, that was pretty much the base of the 21 makeup kit essentials, right? So again, if you are just starting out, this is a great list to go by, right? If you are, if you're just if you are a makeup junkie like me or some people, and you have so much makeup but you don't know how to use it and you don't use it, it's time to just separate what you will use, what looks good on you, and leave the trendy stuff alone for right now. You want to make sure that you're looking for products that are going to be classic. Limiting yourself to adding 1 or 2 luxury cosmetic items to your makeup wardrobe is like adding a designer piece to your clothes. So you want to make sure you think classic and not trendy. And again, if you want to do something that is trendy for the moment, let's say there's some kind of glitter eyeshadow that you want to try, get the inexpensive version of it first before you commit to an expensive version of it. And then as your budget increases for your makeup kit, you can try more luxury brands when it comes to, the foundations, the concealers and such. But I promise you, it's all in how you use the product. Not so much all the time the product, but how you use the product. So yes, there are going to be products that are better, that match better, the color looks better, but you also have to know how to use it, right? And then there are products that are going to be super expensive and they kind of give you the same feel as the product that wasn't, but you still got to know how to use it. All right. So again, if you are interested, you can always get a free consultation with me, free video, 30-minute free video personal consultation with me if you are a Gold BLN member. So I encourage you to do so. Invest in yourself, invest in your look, and it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. And you'll be so proud when you know how to do your own makeup. You don't have that makeup anxiety, and everything is right there, organized and ready for you to use. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching, for paying attention. Yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks.
For me, purchasing beauty products was not that great of an experience. I can remember when I was looking for makeup for my skin, and I had been using an organic makeup that I was getting from a very expensive grocery store. I didn't feel comfortable, like I had an opportunity to ask any questions about the product. And when I finally did get to a consultant and ask them, what's in this lipstick, what's in this, they really didn't know. So when it came to my hair, that was even harder. I would go into the beauty supply, and as you know, it's just aisles and aisles and aisles of product. But what I didn't know, what was right for my natural hair. And again, I was faced with the same dilemma. Who can I ask? Nobody really knew anything about these products. They were just selling them. It wasn't a great experience not being able to get the right amount of information from the people who I was buying the products from. So that's one of the things that I love about the Beauty Lifestyle Network, is that it's a community of information as well as a bunch of great products that have been proven to really, really give you the look that you're looking for when it comes to your hair, skin, and body.